The Pittsburgh Steelers are making it no secret of what they want to be and what their identity is going to be for the 2024 season. And Omar is cooking, and the con artist is at work. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about a lot of things going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. One being the trade of Deontay Johnson yesterday, a guy that has been with the Steelers his whole career, a guy that wanted out, supposedly. I'm not sure why he wanted out, but that's the rumor, that he was really pushing to be traded, and the Steelers obliged. They will not hold you hostage. They don't want you if you don't want to be there. And Deontay Johnson wanted out. He wanted a different environment in which to play football, and maybe that did have something to do with the Russell Wilson signing and not bringing back Mason Rudolph as of yet. Maybe that's what broke the back of Deontay Johnson, and he said to himself, screw it, I want out. Maybe that's why he left or pushed for the trade. But you see the Pittsburgh Steelers let go of a guy that has had some issues, a guy that gave up on his team by not playing in the Bengals game and watching a fumble go. Then you had a guy that runs backwards and just does some bonehead things. But then on the other hand, you have a guy that's a real weapon, having that big touchdown in Baltimore at the end of the season from Mason Rudolph, that laser, in the rain, just taking control of that game and winning that football game. You have a guy like Deontay Johnson that's a great route runner, a great separator from the defender. You don't get that all the time, and the Pittsburgh Steelers now created a hole at the wide receiver spot where they already had a hole and they didn't have a slot guy. That's why I keep saying to you guys, pay attention. Today, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers go after a wide receiver, at least before the end of this week, and I think it might be somebody that you're pleasantly surprised with, and maybe it could be somebody that you're very familiar with, somebody that has ties to the Pittsburgh area. That's just what I think could happen. I think you could get a guy like Tyler Boyd for $5 to $8 million in that range per season, and I think he could play that slot receiver role if you find somebody else to be the number two. I think he could slide in and out and do different things. I think a guy like Tyler Boyd could be very beneficial to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A guy like Tyler Boyd. Maybe it isn't him, but I think it would really work, and I think it would be something cool for Tyler to come back and play for the city of Pittsburgh yet again, as where he spent his college years and his high school years and grew up his whole life. I think it would be something cool. I think it would be a cool ending to the Tyler Boyd story if he could just come into Pittsburgh and stay there and finish out his career. I think that would be a really cool thing. A guy that went and made some money in Cincinnati, secured his family's future, now comes back to the city of Pittsburgh to still make good money and still play in front of that hometown fandom and really just make it an exciting thing. I think that could happen. Then you look at the signing of Patrick Queen yesterday, knowing what the Steelers really want to do. They're bolstering that defense, getting back in the Deontay trade, Deontay Jackson. Now they have two more pieces to add to a defense that had some good quality pieces. It tells you one thing about a guy like Cole Holcomb, probably not going to be ready, probably going to end up being let go. That seems to be what's going to happen because of his injury. I don't think he's going to be ready to play football. That was a devastating injury. We wish all the best to a guy like Cole Holcomb. 2 years in a row, season-ending injuries, but you bring in a stud like Patrick Queen. And this was a real crazy one, guys. Nobody thought or saw this coming. People may have wished for it, but nobody thought could actually get done. I assumed that Patrick Queen would probably make upwards of 18 to 20 million per season. I think that he is that good of a linebacker at age 24. And the Pittsburgh Steelers got him at around $16 million per year. And that's going to be for 3 years. And that is going to really give Patrick Queen the ability to cash in again at 27. So you really bring in a guy that's going to be super hungry, playing probably his best football at age 24. So that was a quality move, adding a layer to this defense that is going to be special when you're coupling them up with other superstars. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are really showing what they want to be. They're showing their identity, guys. And that is smash mouth football, controlling the line of scrimmage, controlling the run game of the other opposing offenses. They are going to have lockdown guys like Joey Porter Jr. out there. They're going to have serviceable guys like Deontay Jackson. They're going to have superstars on the back end like Minkah Fitzpatrick. Hopefully a healthy and hungry Cam Hayward. Hopefully a year two guy in Keanu Benton that is better. better. But these are all the real stories that are happening around the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I know there's tons of rumors, but then you see what the Pittsburgh Steelers do signing a guy like Russell Wilson for next to nothing. And it shows you guys exactly what they want to do. Control the football on offense with the run game. Allow Russell Wilson to hit big splash plays in timely situations. This is what they want to be. They want to be an offense that's not going to give the ball over every 3 downs. They're not going to have 3 and outs all the time. They're going to control the football. The time of possession is of utmost importance. When you have some of these superstar quarterbacks, especially in your division, like a Lamar Jackson, like a Joe Burrow, guys like that, Deshaun Watson, you want to keep them on the sideline, limit their opportunities, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing just that. That's what they're going for. That's what they're aiming for, not allowing those guys to beat them. And that goes for the rest of the AFC. When you have guys sitting on the sideline like a Josh Allen, like a Patrick Mahomes, those types of players, you keep them off the field by controlling the football. And Russell Wilson has succeeded in those types of offenses in the past. Control offenses that lean on their defense in the run game, that use the time of possession to win football games. And that's exactly where the Pittsburgh Steelers game plan is. And it's very evident now with the signings that they've made. They made a quality punter signing. I think the guy that's going to do really well, paying him like a big league punter. I think they're going to go out here now and really focus on this wide receiver spot. They're going to focus at the center position and the right tackle. I think that's where they're ultra focused right now, and I think they're going to be able to fix some of that inside of the draft. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers still have a potential for going out there and getting somebody like Simmons from Denver or something like that. Also getting like Minka, that running mate. That's what they're looking for next, probably. That receiver and maybe a running mate for Minka. Those are the 2 things that I may see here coming up in free agency before the end of the week. They have some options, and they are definitely checking some boxes here, getting some of these holes filled in free agency, which is going to allow them to be a little bit more free in the draft and a little bit more best player available focused inside of the draft. And I think that's where they need to be. We've had many discussions on the channel, especially on the live show, about that and about the Steelers maybe drafting for need as opposed to best player available. And I think they just need to find that happy median, find that, hey, we're going to fix this hole, but we're still getting the best player available. That's where they need to aim all the time. You see the Steelers team, though, taking shape, guys, and the con artist is at work. Don't doubt the con artist, man. Don't doubt him. This guy has made some quality moves. He really has. And yes, it may not have translated to a ton of wins last year, but he had a successful 2023 time period in his first year. And he's already having a great year in 2024 in free agency. And this takes time to build a team, especially when you had a team that was struggling, like the Steelers, haven't won a playoff game since 2016. 2016. It takes time to build these things up. And I think in year 2 or year 3 here for Omar Khan, I think you're really going to start to see the dividends. You're really going to start to see the payoff from what he is building and what he is able to construct here in his first couple seasons. I think the draft is going to be a special one for the Steelers because they are taking care of some of these needs, which is going to allow them to maybe draft a wide receiver in round 1, guys, if there's still a big name guy out there, a guy that can come in and contribute early and often. Also, maybe they draft a cornerback in round 1 to go and fit with the one they just traded for from Carolina and Joey Porter Jr., giving yourself some depth there. Hopefully a guy like Corey Trice could come and maybe get some snaps maybe next year and really start to build himself up also. Maybe a guy like Rush. Maybe you start to have a strength at cornerback instead of a weakness. Now you're packaging Elandon Roberts, Queen, those types of guys together. You're building that second layer of the defense. There's special things happening, man. And you can definitely see what the Pittsburgh Steelers plan is. And with a guy like Russell Wilson, it's showing that they wanted a quality veteran in place to be able to guide this offense and just be steady. They're not looking for elite. Yes, they would love to be. They would love to have an elite offense that lights up the scoreboard, but I think they are planning for an offense that is good to serviceable, that can really just hold on to the football, not cause not take bad turnovers. Russell Wilson control the football, not allow it to just be turned over all the time. Run the shit out of it and hit some splash plays with your new number one guy, your guy that is definitely the number one. There is no more doubt, and that is George Pickens in year 2. They're putting a lot on that young man's shoulders, but I think they go out there and find a veteran like a Tyler Boyd to fill that vacancy left by Deontay Johnson. You have a year 3 guy in Calvin Austin who could emerge as a real threat on the edge, because that's where he's best. He's not best in the slot. I think the Steelers still need to focus on that slot receiver type player. That's where that it would pay off the most, because you could put Calvin Austin out there on the edge and allow him to cook, because I think he's going to have a big year 3. So this is all what's happening with the Steelers. And I want you guys to pay attention today, and you're going to hear it here on Mic Drop Sports. And I'm not sure what everybody else is reporting. I don't pay attention as much to that kind of stuff. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers make a splash at wide receiver. I think they go out and sign one of these veteran guys that is going to be a decent name, a guy that is going to be able to come in here and contribute often. I really do think that they take care of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't find a quality veteran as a running mate for Minkah Fitzpatrick here in the next couple days. I want you to keep your eyes open and your ears open, because you're going to see something happen, guys. The con artist isn't done just yet, and they are going to work on these restructures and extensions of some of their big contract players to free up even more cap space to make this an even more profitable, even better free agency period. And they'll have that money set aside for their draft picks, have a little bit of cash set aside in case of injury in 2024. And I think this team is going to be poised to really be a competitor inside of the AFC, inside of that AFC North division. And I think that they could be a really scary team with some of the additions that they've made already. I think that it could make them potentially a lot better than they were in 2023, in which they really weren't that bad. They just couldn't get it fully going. And I think now that they have the veterans in place, maybe bringing in, these young guys like a Patrick Queen, getting a solid punter, really trying to build this offense and defensive side of the football, also special teams. Look for maybe a re-signing of like a Christian Kuntz for the long snapping duties, because he'll be a cheap guy. Look for all these things to happen here really, really soon ahead of the draft. Now that we're diving into free agency full go, you're going to really see some special things from Omar Khan here, I think, moving forward. And the Steelers do have the money available to bring some of these players in that really want to play for Mike Tomlin. I'm not a big Mike Tomlin fan, but the players are. And that means something whenever you're trying to get free agent targets coming in here. They want to play for your coach. That is a leg up, because that might be the difference of them going and playing for somebody else for $18 million a year as opposed to $16 million a year, if you catch my drift with what just happened to Queen. I think that really made a difference in getting Patrick Queen. It was probably the Mike Tomlin variable. Hey, I'll take a little bit less money. Go to the Steelers, a storied franchise with storied linebackers, and play for a coach like Mike Tomlin. And I'm giving credit where it's due. I feel like Mike Tomlin has many errors and many bad things that he's done in his coaching style over the years. However, players love him, and you got to give him credit for that, and they want to play for him. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be poised to be real contenders next year inside of the AFC. I'm not saying it's a Super Bowl winner or being too overexcited in the preseason here, in the offseason. But I will say the Steelers have substantially gotten better over the last couple days, and I think they will continue to do so through the draft of 2024. All right, guys, don't forget our live show tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Sean joins me on Steel City Live, only brought to you here on Mic Drop Sports. We are going to go in and dive into hopefully what's some more news. Last night we had the Deontay Johnson news of the trade break right here live on Mic Drop Sports, which was crazy. It was in real time. We all learned about it at the same exact moment. It was absolutely nuts. I look for more exciting things like like that to happen as we push through the week on Steel City Live, our live show that happens usually at 6:30 p.m. But on Wednesdays, we will now be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so your boy Sean can join me. And I'm super excited of what's in store for the channel. Super excited of watching this channel grow. We're going for that 5,000 subscriber mark, so make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave today. And also hit that like button, guys. It's something free and easy that you can do to help your favorite creators on YouTube. Not just me, any of us. Make sure that you go and hit that like button. It's so damn easy. Just do it. Hit that like button for your creators and allow them to get into that YouTube algorithm to be able to improve their shows for you, the viewer. All right, guys. So until next time, this is Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. Peace.